Hey everybody, welcome to This Ephemeral Life with your host, Adam Byers. Yes, me, and I will and you. Hey everybody, this is Adam, and I wanted to welcome you and everyone listening, and also you, back to another episode of This Ephemeral Life. Thanks everybody who's been listening so far. We appreciate you. I'm back in the Roost Podcast Network, Studio A as I'm calling it. No, there is no Studio B yet, but there will be soon. But in the meantime, yeah, we're in Studio A, and I'm very, very excited. We feel like we've been working on this for the better part of a month. Finally have my good friend Candice Oates in the building. What's up, Candice?
Hi, not much, Adam. What's up with you?
How's it going? I'm sweating.
We're both sweating.
You actually put my mind at ease. I was like nervous for this. Maybe just because I don't think we've ever actually sat in a room and talked about improv one-on-one.
No, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make sense. We've been on a team for a very long time.
Yeah, should we just get it out of the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, because the group chat has been asking us to. We've been on a team for a while. Shout out to Scott Wheeler for putting us together for a cage match team.
Yes.
Vandal Pose back in 2022, 21.
Yeah.
Wow. That doesn't feel good to think about that. But yeah, I met you. I knew who you were before then, probably. I'd seen you maybe do some stuff at the theater or maybe just around town.
Yeah.
And then very quickly, found out you and our friend Tori Simmons was going to be on the team. And I was like, oh, they seem really nice. And I feel like it was like Alex, I think, Alex Stanton made the joke that it was like we all were thrown together and it would just work so well right away. And but I don't think we've ever we've been in group chats, obviously, and we've in hangs and talked about improv, but I don't think I've ever really gotten a chance to sit down with you and kind of talk to you about it. So thank you for being here.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, this is fun.
How long have you been performing improv? Do you remember?
Yeah. 2019, early 2019 is when I started taking classes with Mark Hale Jr. And just ever since fell in love with improv and wanted to do it anywhere, any way that I could. So it started with shows, after we got some classes under our belt, some people in the class started forming a group and we would take, any shows that were available. Shout out Improv Wars. That was our first big show. So yeah, anything that was around Columbus, just kind of indie shows, or we would set up our own shows. Right up until the pandemic, which RIP live performance for a while. Yeah.
It's come up on the show multiple times, that whole span of 2020. I know I missed improv during that time. And I even did some over Zoom. We were talking about before I hit record about Zoomprov.
Yeah. Why did we do that?
Yeah. I was at a show here Friday, a couple of days ago, and someone asked, they were like, oh, you were doing improv in 2020? Or actually, I think I was, that was, and I went, yeah, I mean, it was great when you were doing a scene with someone and you try to look in their eyes to connect with them. And you're looking at you're looking at their face on the screen, which isn't where their face is. Their face or their eyes are up in their own computer screen.
Yep.
I digress.
Oh, yeah. Just a lot of lagging.
Yeah. In order to say scene, you had to unmute your camera and unmute your mic or whatever.
Yep.
Let's not do that again.
Let's hope not.
Let's not do that.
Knock on wood.
What was it? So you fell in love right away. Was there an impetus for you, a reason to start improv? Was it like were you, I think you've told me you did theater.
Yeah.
In high school and stuff like that?
Yeah. For a good year, my sophomore year of high school, I was like, oh, no, I'm not an art kid anymore. I'm a theater kid. I truly thought that was going to be my trajectory for an entire year. I was like, oh, Rent is amazing. Oh, my God. Y'all ever heard of Wicked? So I was just really, really into the depths of all of the common, musicals. And
sure.
All of a sudden, once I actually had to go into college, I was like, no, art makes sense for me. I'm fine with art. But there was always that love for theater in the back of my mind. And, had the experience with theater too. So years go by. Mark Hale Jr. is a close friend of mine.
Sure.
Actually met him in theater, some community theater shows. We lost touch for a little bit, and then he started doing live improv performances, again, with Improv Wars and Jeff Gage, who was in charge of Improv Wars for some time. I would go to see their shows.
Sure.
Absolutely loved them. Was like, oh my God, how do you do this? And of course, the conversation came up. He's like, you could try this too. I think you'd be great. And I'm like, no, I could never. It was that kind of talk. And all of a sudden, I was like, when he decided to start teaching classes, I was like, this is the perfect opportunity. He's a good friend of mine, also very knowledgeable, very funny. I'm sure he'd be great. So it just made sense. Decided
you felt comfortable with him, I'm sure.
Yeah. So
just learning from him.
Yes. Very good teacher. So we started with, again, short form classes and just kind of getting comfortable on stage. Met a lot of good people in that first class, and including our mutual friend, Tori. This is how I met Tori, Tori Simmons, shout out. And yeah, so that's kind of how I got started. But yeah, theater, I think, definitely kind of like led the way. Like I've been kind of a performance-y, hammy kid my entire life. And then also realizing that like, oh no, comedy has also been a huge part of my life. It's one of those things that didn't like click until I started doing improv, is that I had this like arsenal of like comedy movies and shows just in the back of my head, and like kind of learning and understanding comedic timing and jokes. And that all started to come naturally. And I was like, oh, I had like, there's an application for all of this useless comedy knowledge that I just had stored up. So
that's awesome. I mean, I think I've heard that before, and that doesn't surprise me when I see you perform. That like, I feel like we have all this stuff to pull from that but then you don't realize you can actually. I don't know about you. I for as long as I can remember, I was the person in my group of friends who was trying to make everybody laugh.
Oh yeah.
And regardless of if it was a reference to a movie, which I don't know if this happens with like groups of girls or group who are friends in general, but with my group of friends, it's like inside jokes that are based on very niche little movie quotes or very niche little movie characters. And I feel like that's you can just say a line and get your friends to laugh. And for me, that was like enough of an endorphin release. And then like, someone told me, well, you could actually come and do this and do it on stage for random people. Yep. And that endorphin release is like, oh, okay, now it's like, it's real.
Applied sciences.
Yeah, sure. Exactly. That's a better way of putting what I was trying to say. Well, cool. And like you said, you kind of fell in love with the art form. You mentioned you started with short form stuff.
Yes.
Do you like short form like as a just an improv form? Are you more of a lot? Because I know you do a lot of more montage style stuff now.
Yeah.
Including some narrative montage stuff with TBD. Obviously, every show is its own kind of narrative.
Yeah.
Would you say that you still kind of have a soft spot for short form? Like if I were to drop you into Fun and Games at the Nest or anything like that, you could do it? Or would you be like, no, I got something going on that night? Or
I will always have a special place in my heart for short form.
Sure.
I think it was more just kind of like the evolution of like trying newer things and trying montage and trying like narrative that, it just like settled in nicely where I'm like, no, this is really fun for me.
Yeah.
But every now and then I've gotten to do short form shows or games. Somewhat recently, there's a group in Columbus called FFN who've been around for quite some time.
Old school group. When I found out about right when I started, also in 2018, it was like, you started going look around like, okay, who's doing this? Who's doing that? Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, no, but they do something, I think annually with a high school improv group. So they perform with high schoolers and do these short form games. We help them look good and, help them, stay on track. Because sometimes high schoolers need a little bit of help and corralling. But they were so good on their own. But that was me being dropped back into short form games and being like, oh, yeah, there's absolutely a love here. Like, it's so much fun and it's so silly. And it's a great, like, starting point for anyone and everyone. So, yeah, still love short form. It is harder for me to get into the mindset. I might need to be reminded of how to play certain games. But otherwise, yeah, we'll always love short form.
Okay. Okay. But now you're on to bigger and better things. Kind of brings me to what I wanted to talk. The main thing, I before I interview people on this podcast, I kind of try to reach out a little bit and say, what are some things that we could talk about? This podcast is about the tough stuff sometimes that we go through as improvisers. I know like, an example would be like, I just had a terrible set and now I feel like shit and now I don't want to do improv anymore. Or like stuff like that where, I wanted to universalize the experience and basically come to a point where I'm like, no matter where you are on your journey right now, Candice Oates. You have been somewhere, and I have, we all universally have had those ups and downs. So we talked a little bit before recording, and the one thing you brought up, and one thing actually I think I brought up was I always really admire, here comes the love bombing, okay? Get ready. No, I really have always admired your ability to create characters on stage. It is I think a strength of yours. And I ask the following questions because I myself have had ups and downs over the years with mainly just coming on with support and then not really building a character. Instead, almost, to a fault, sometimes ending up just being myself or a version of like white American male adult, like on stage, not really like bring anything like significant or like interesting in terms of like a character. Now that can work. You can skip by on that, but I've worked a lot in the past year to kind of be a little bit more leading with that. So my question is when you get on stage and let's say we're doing a montage show of any kind, when you get on stage, do you lead with a idea in terms of a physicality, in terms of like a mental state your character is going to be on? And how are you able to do that so well?
You already kind of nailed it. I did. It's the next question. But
we've solved improv.
We did it.
Yeah.
We figured it out.
That's the goal of the show. This is the last episode. So God, I hope we tie everything up.
We beat it. No one has to do it anymore.
Yeah.
But no, I really struggled with this myself.
Okay.
Because yes, I've also had the experience of coming on just as myself, or like the uncertainty of like who I'm going to be then becomes my character, and then I feel kind of less in my body on stage.
Sure.
So yeah, coming in uncertain, that kind of manifests into the scene. So
that's a really good point.
Yeah.
That you can that could be your character choice, is just being scared and uncertain.
Yeah, truthfully.
And then you're stuck in that because someone goes like, don't be scared. And you're like, well, I am now.
I wouldn't recommend it all the time, but like that's one way to come out of it is if you're like scared and uncertain, then well, that's your character.
Yeah, certainly double down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had that happen in a scene not too long ago with Alex Stanton where I didn't know what I was doing, and that just became my character, and it became a very, very fun scene. But so generally what I try to think about before I go on stage is how does my character feel right now? That's a big one. It's just like coming in with any emotion at all can help inform how you feel about your partner, how you feel about the situation, and how your scene can grow from there. Do I become like more angry as the scene progresses? Or if I come in like jealous, like am I more jealous? Am I, like enlightened? Like how do I become more enlightened? My most recent scene, one of them that I did this week, I was like in a very powerful position.
Yeah.
So I came in just like very like stuck and in place, like held my chest up high. And I was also like pretty aggressive. So I was talking a little bit faster and saying meaner things. So like coming in with, just an idea of how you are placed in the world, I think will propel you into a scene that one informs your scene partner. It's easier to play off of somebody when you can like physically see and understand how you're feeling, and maybe who you are in this world. But it helps you too. Like you can like really start to like create a point of view. Like if I'm this aggressive, like kind of politician was the person that I was playing.
Oh yeah. I saw that scene.
That's the scene.
I was thinking, which one are you thinking of? And there's another one from this past weekend that I want to talk to you about. And so I was stuck. I was like, I guess she was a powerful impression of Jennifer Coolidge, but like that, like she wasn't really an authority figure in the scene. Although Jennifer Coolidge is pretty badass in general.
Oh, thank you.
We'll get to that later. So you were playing a politician, and really, I mean, technically the straight man in the scene.
Yes.
Not actually straight man. Just straight man is like a theater term, but like, yeah.
Compared to, again, LT came out with a very, very strong physicality, which was...
which he never does.
Yeah. Shout out LT, being the really best of physicality.
He's really got to work on that. He's just not... Yeah, he's...
Try harder, bud.
Come on, man. Come on, dude.
We love LT.
Yep.
Came on with a very strong physicality of like, just like itching and just not...
Allergic to everything.
Yeah. And like not like present and just like clearly like the weaker of the two politicians. So that was very easy to play off of and be like the full contrast of that. So yeah, as well as like coming on strong, he also came on strong. So that was very easy to play with.
That's a really good tip. Like if you see your scene partner come on and be something specific, maybe that's a good word for it, specific, or strongly in that specific character, then feel free to match that energy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a really good tip. I need to remember that myself.
I always have to remind myself. So
yeah, no doubt. That's the thing about improv. This is aside, but I always relate it to golf. Big golf fan, I assume, Candice. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, you are, Adam.
Okay, great. So my only point is, like, literally when you swing a golf ball, and the pros make it look easy, but there's about 18 things you need to remember in terms of like how you are positioned and keeping your head down and keeping your eye on the ball and et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
If you don't do like one or two of those things, then you're going to slice the ball really bad. You're going to hit it poorly or even miss it completely. And yeah, I feel like improv, sometimes we don't give ourselves enough credit for remembering all this stuff while we're out there, because it can really just like fly by, and all of a sudden you're in a scene and you're like, okay, what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know. I always kind of try to relate those two, because there's a lot going on. And so to say that you need to remind yourself is like totally valid.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like
just to relate it. To golf, like coming into an improv scene, you're like, okay, what was my suggestion? Okay. How do I make it not exactly that suggestion? Okay. What is my physicality? Okay. How do I feel? Okay. What is my partner doing? Okay. There's like so much that we have to think about in that
like
moment.
Milliseconds.
Yeah. And yeah, at a certain point, it will always, the more you practice it, the more that some things come naturally to you. But especially in the beginning, like when you're starting to learn things, I think it's actually like sort of right out of classes, like when you're no longer like in that like practice flow state.
Sure.
With all of the lessons like right there in the class space. You start to maybe like be like, oh shit. Wait, what were the things? Or you kind of get like comfortable and in a groove, and maybe some things that still apply that maybe you've forgotten, other little tips and tricks that might help you get unstuck. But yeah, generally speaking, I think, again, with golf, it'll probably come more natural to you. You're maybe not thinking about every single thing.
It's been 5 years and I still am terrible, but like.
Same with improv for me. Like, you know, I still have to keep those things in mind.
Exactly. And that's a really good point. Yeah, I feel like you mentioned something really important there, that little time. I've talked to a few improvisers that have been in doing this for about as long as we have, 5-6 years. And I've talked to some who are kind of in that space where they've just gotten out of the core classes here at the Nest, or whatever classes they've been taking. And I think there is something very interesting about that small period in an improviser's journey where you don't have, like, for lack of a better term, the safety net of the, like, an instructor watching you.
Yeah.
Either providing feedback in time, or like at least being like, okay, I can look to this person after a scene, and if they laugh or if they give me a thumbs up, then I'm doing something right. And so maybe I feel like it goes one of two ways. When an improviser gets out into that, like, okay, I just did my graduation show, or even it starts with the graduation show. I feel like I felt like I was on top of the world because I completed a curriculum, but it very quickly was like, oh yeah, this is still just the beginning.
Yeah.
Taryn Rance, in my first class at the Nest, I think they sat together and taught our level 1, or at least introed the core classes together.
Yeah.
Before splitting up the group. And they said something really interesting that I've kept with me to this day. And they said, like, plenty of improvisers will complete our training or complete training anywhere, come to us and go, okay, like, I think I'm ready to move to Chicago. I think I'm ready to do this for a living. It's been a year. And they said, come back and try us in 10 years.
Yeah.
And that's always stuck with me as like this is a marathon, not a sprint, right?
Oh, yeah.
Unless you're like somebody who's just insanely naturally funny. The next Chris Farley doesn't need to necessarily take 10 years before they go to, the Groundlings or whatever, or UCB. Yeah. Well, I'm meditating on what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, no. But yeah, I think a big part of that is there's a graph in accordance with this as well.
Wait a minute. You said graph, and I was going to ask you about graphs. That's so weird.
Really?
Because you mentioned when
Mind link, you guys.
Wow. We solved improv.
We keep doing this.
You mentioned that when you get on stage, you kind of see, like, am I going to get more angry? Or is my character going to, like, double down? Is there going to be, I was like, do you see that visually as like a graph? I was going to ask that. We kind of moved off of it, and now I've placed us right back on it.
Yeah.
So ignore what I said. I mean, like, your brain works however it works, but
sure.
There's a graph when it comes to an improviser's journey. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
The improviser journey graph is, there was one day in a class, me and Tori both went up to Tara, And because we were both kind of on the same trajectory, we started around the same time. We're doing similar classes. And we both kind of felt like a plateau where we were like, well, we took Mark's curriculum.
Yeah.
Tori had taken hashtag, and we were like halfway through Nest classes.
Sure.
And we just kind of felt a little stuck, like we haven't gotten worse or better, but we're just kind of like, what more is there? And Tara was like, this is just the improviser's journey. There is just kind of a trajectory of when you're learning and everything feels good. Oh yeah, awesome. We're going up. And then there is just kind of this like plateau area where you've learned all the basics. Like you have the basics under your belt. So now what? And I think from there just comes the practice and the reps and the chemistry with people that you play with. So I think with the lessons that you take, you have to also then continue to play.
Yeah.
And it really is just like this kind of, from there, truthfully, like kind of an up and down graph trajectory of like when you feel comfortable versus when you don't. But yeah, I think a lot of improvisers will feel that immediate like plateau. Like once they have all the like general lessons, they've like applied them, and they've maybe done a graduation show or two. They're like, okay, but now what? And I think that's kind of what you were getting at earlier too, is that seems to be fairly natural for a lot of people.
And there's just no net either. Like there's been plenty of times in my journey where I felt completely like falling completely down and just being like, this is so bad. And like, why am I doing this? And just know that this is part of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I would just caution anyone who's feeling that way not to take it too far of a step back, I should say. Because opportunities are still there if you want them. Like, yeah,
I will say everyone's journey is different. And I truly, truly believe if improv is not fun for you, take a step back at the very least. And if it's not for you, then it's not for you. I think improv at its core should be fun. Like this is a ridiculous form. It's meant to be fun. And it's meant to be like kind of a break from the monotony of life. We're playing imagination on stage as adults. So if that's not fun for you, at its very core, it's supposed to be fun, then like reassess. Some people truly do want to do this and maybe they just need a break. And some people are like, no, I'm done. Like, it's just not for me. And both of those trajectories are fine.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's very well said. Better than what I said.
This podcast is a competition.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm interviewing who's going to take over.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Can you imagine? General question, just to kind of keep the ball rolling here. Yeah. Is there something, what do you, I struggle to use this word. I say this a lot, but hate is a very strong word. Is there anything you strongly dislike about improv?
Ooh.
Anything that comes to mind is something that either maybe you see in scenes or you see in the community, or like you've something that's happened to you that maybe you'd like to talk about, or if you don't have anything, then that's okay too.
Sure. That's a great question. I mean, I like so much of it.
Sure.
Obviously I've seen and been in shows that have felt like weaker or like, ugh, why am I doing this moment?
Sure.
I think if there's like something that I dislike about improv, wow, I don't know if I have anything off the top of my head. I'm in a very positive mood today.
That's okay. I could tell you something I dislike.
Yeah, go for it.
Maybe not. Okay. Dislike's the wrong word, but this is something that came up recently that I wanted to talk about, and you just happen to be here. So recently I've noticed it in some shows that I have been a part of, and also some shows that I haven't been a part of that I've just been watching, where there'll be a couple different groups going. And there's this phenomenon that I've seen happen recently that I think is really interesting. And I don't know if it's not like an obvious answer, but let's say it's a Troika show, or let's say it's just a montage night. The first team goes on to warm up the audience, and they do a set about a police station is the setting for the set. And there's all these characters who are in the police station, and the one cop decides he's going to quit. There's a game where, I'm making this up on the spot.
Yeah, sure.
There's a game where he decides he's not going to be a cop. Instead, he's going to like become a atheist, aka he's going to be like dedicated to like worshiping being a thief.
Okay.
And I say that being like worship is kind of the idea here. That's the game of the scene, right? We're taking something that normally the guy would just quit. And he starts, and then like, okay, so that's the scene about worship. And then somebody maybe takes that A to C jump, and there's a scene in a confessional booth. By the way, confessional booth scenes, I think I've seen enough of those.
Oh, sure.
That's
There's a lot of traps we fall into.
That's an improv trap. That's a really good thing to say about that. Yeah. And then let's say House Black, there's an intermission. The second group comes on. And I don't think there's an intention here, but the second group has watched the first group's performance. Mm-hmm. And they saw that oh, hey, I can do improv. I can do anything, right? For whatever reason, there's a scene where someone's worshiping something. Mm. Or if there was people playing a lion in the first one, all of a sudden there's animal play in the second one.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just, I think our brains just see that and go, okay, I can do that, and forget that you can do anything.
There is this crazy phenomenon of just there may be mind tricks here, but once it is in your head, once you've seen it, it just kind of accidentally plays out.
Sure.
I've had this happen. TBD is guilty of this. I've even done it where, because we're a narrative, we often give our characters names so that we remember them throughout the show.
Absolutely.
More than once has somebody been given the same name as somebody else in the show because that name was in our head. And then for some reason, that's the only name we can think of in that moment. Yeah. So shoot, now we have two Bradleys in the, in the set. There is definitely something to that. I think it's just kind of implanted, where, we just saw it and maybe we're not thinking about it consciously, but it just comes out.
It's such a weird thing.
Yeah.
I literally looked and I looked at the person who I was next to and I went, I saw that earlier.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's intentional. It's not like people want to be original, right?
We got to do studies here.
It's one of those.
There's definitely something.
It's one of those improv traps. I think where you kind of get in and you go, okay, well, maybe we'll do this, and maybe it's just we think with the front of our brains when we get into an improv scene instead of maybe expanding it and doing anything. And I think we're inherently human, so gosh, I did a set over the weekend where we ended up in very human places. And in the practice with this team, we're going very weird. We're going to hell. We're zooming in to be things on the table and zooming back out to the people around the table, doing kind of weird, I don't know what you call this, just kind of psychedelic moves compared to you're just a linear kind of, okay, we're in a Costco.
Right.
Okay, we're in the back of the Costco. You know what I mean?
And we're just human beings that are kind of ourselves.
Right,
yeah,
right. I just think maybe it's just so easy for us as humans to think that way, even when we're trying to be creative and make shit up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think A to C thinking is still a very important lesson. One of the first lessons we learn in improv that often, kind of falls by the wayside. Because again, we just kind of think as we go. And sometimes even the most seasoned improvisers might go with their first thought every now and then, and that's still fine.
If it's the funny thought, then I think it works.
Yeah.
Honing that A to C kind of muscle on the improviser's tool belt. I say tool belt every time.
Belt.
On the improviser's tool belt, there is the honing the A to C. I think that's something that I've learned over the past even 6 months that you can work on that in your free time.
Oh yeah.
And I don't think many improvisers think to do that unless they do. And maybe I'm just the only guy who wasn't doing it. Maybe.
No, I knew in the back of my head that I should be doing A to C thinking, but here's the negativity behind that. Have
you done your A to C homework tonight, Candice?
Yeah. I need to.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that I unfortunately think about in the A to C thinking patterns is that if I think A to C, if I get the word swordfish, and swordfish makes me think of a fancy restaurant, and a fancy restaurant makes me think of a patio. Okay, so that's my A to C. If we get the word swordfish and my scene partner is in the ocean, and I'm trying to sit at a patio, obviously that can work as long as we communicate. But that's the thing that I'm always worried about and trying to think a step ahead past the A to C. Basically, it's not a great way of thinking, but I'm just going to go with the first thought because my partner might go with the first thought, and I don't want it to be too clashing, which is not. Again, the idea is that you work together regardless of your circumstance and regardless of what you come out with.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes improv amazing.
Or you don't, and then there's this weird little moment where you're in your head because you just accidentally denied it within a scene, or they did,
right?
Because they're no, we're in the ocean. And you're okay, the patio of the submarine that we're on,
which could be very funny. Yeah. When I I guess this is just like me. I teach level 3 at hashtag
nice.
comedy
oh,
now.
I think I knew that.
Yeah.
How's that going?
It's going great.
Yeah.
We do now in one of my very first classes an A to C exercise.
Okay.
Because level 3 is kind of where we get out of our just comfortability stages. Like we know the games and we know basics. Now we're learning like what makes a scene good in improv. So we talk about A to C, and I give them a word that then makes them think of a word that then makes them think of a word. And then we took that a step further to then say, okay, well, what does, if that's your final word, what would the scene start with? Like, how would you initiate a scene? So the word that I gave them was goat.
Do you use goat all the time? Or this is just the one you're in this
I mix
example?
it up all the time.
Okay. It'd be funny if you just used goat.
Always goat.
And just because then you would at least see like how people's brains work differently. Yeah.
But this was great because we get the classic, like somebody thought of like goat and then farm, like milk and then farmer. And then there'd be like starting a farm scene. And then we had somebody who said, oh, goat made me think of like Goat Simulator, that game. Yeah. Which made them think of like the Matrix. And I said, oh my God, this is a great example of you two. If you two were in a scene together and that's where your mind went, that would be a hilarious scene versus like two people who thought farmer. And we might have a fun farm scene with some fun emotion or stakes. But I would much rather see the farmer in a Matrix situation. And again, that's something where like, don't drop your shit either. Well, Speaking of character creation, if you come in as a farmer and you come in as Neo, like we're going to have a fun scene.
I think you're right. I think it certainly, the scene can be as fun as the improvisers choose to make it. Yeah. In that scenario specifically, if I come on and I'm Neo and I barely, like if I say I'm Neo, I'm the one. Gosh, there is so much potential there, but I think, wow, you really have to have two improvisers that will commit, like you said. Right. Just commit. And he's like, all right, Neo, it's time to milk the cows.
That's also, it's hard to, because I think you want to make the scene good and you want to make your scene partner look good. Yeah. So you might accidentally drop your shit to the whim of the scene, but really what works and will make a great scene is coming in with strong initiations, seeing how they work together. And again, having that communication of like, if you truly have something in mind or like, don't be afraid to say it rather than assume that your character or your scene partner knows what you're doing. But yeah, a beautiful, beautiful lesson that I've learned from Susan Messing.
Before you say this, can you get your head a little closer to that mic for me?
Hell yeah.
I just want to, because I love Susan Messing. And a beautiful lesson from Susan Messing.
Yeah, and I think you were maybe there for this.
I was in the room.
Yeah, so.
I was there. I was listening to Susan Messing and going like, how do I write all this down? And you know what? Tried. Quick aside, you took down a ton of notes, and I don't think we ever got them as a team.
Are you serious? I did write them down.
You have them. You've been gatekeeping these notes for 3 years.
I'm trying to win improv, Adam.
I'm just saying, we were on a team for a while, okay? And Susan Messing was talking so quickly about so many things and answering people's questions that it was like, I just have to try to take this in auditorially. I have to try to take this in. Gosh, that's a whole nother, I could definitely talk about that workshop with you for like 2 hours.
I know. It was so good.
So
and
awesome.
Now that you've said that, I'm going to make a note to send that to the
This
team.
is permanent. This is going out on the internet at some point in the next 2 months, and you're going to have to own up.
I'm going to own up. I don't follow through, guys.
I'm just going to look at these notes going like, I don't remember any of this shit. It's not going to be helpful at all because that was fucking 2 years ago. Yeah.
It was mostly doodles. I wasn't paying attention.
Great. Yeah.
No, she
said, looking around the room like, this is nice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's lovely. And
definitely.
I truly recommend if she ever does workshops here. She has a lot of great advice and insight. But one of the things, I believe the workshop that we did was don't
fix it, make it worse? Or it was like break it or make it break
make it or break it, one of those things. It was essentially
make it work or break it. Make it worse or make it worse or break it in half. I don't know. Fix it or make it worse.
Okay. I think that is right. That sounds right. Got it.
Okay.
Fix it or make it worse sounds right to me.
Shout out Susan Messing.
Shout out. We got there. And a lot of it was just kind of like a Q&A with moments where we, had issues or like projecting potential issues in an improv scene. And she would help us kind of guide to what we could do in that situation. But one of the things that really stuck with me was the reminder that like, if you come in as like a, brash, like gargoyle-esque character with a deep voice and maybe a hunch.
Yeah.
And then somebody says, you are a beautiful bride, because they also came in with a strong initiation. You don't all of a sudden perk up and become this beautiful bride, right? You are now a gargoyle bride who's like, I don't want to get married, but here I am. Like you keep that character that you still had, but you are now also a bride. Like that information is now just like both of it at once versus trying to adapt to what your scene partner gave you to make like, the perfect scene.
Right.
That doesn't exist. No, a gargoyle bride is much funnier than just a bride.
And it's also much funnier if your scene partner like takes their own gift.
Yeah.
Which is literally not, it doesn't happen all the time, but if you call someone a beautiful bride and they are like a horrendous looking gargoyle, now your character finds that attractive.
Oh, yeah.
So if you don't double down on your emotional take and go like, okay, yeah, you're just, I mean, I just love your scabs. I love all the things happening with your skin. Like,
oh yeah. And that could be, the most attractive kind of creature in your world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. I could talk about that 4 hours of my life with you and Al Stanton and Scott Wheeler and Sarah Riddell forever. And maybe we will next time I have you on. We are running out of time, but there is one final segment on the show that I want to get into with you, and it's very serious. No. It's serious. It's not scary.
I'm already crying.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you don't continue to cry.
Okay.
What is your favorite kind of bread?
Oh my God. I knew this was going to happen.
And I wanted to save it till the end because I knew you'd get emotional.
Yeah.
And I know that I feel like you, as far as I know, you have a very, very like nice diet. But like you gotta like a kind of bread.
Word to describe my diet. Nice.
Yeah, dude, nice diet.
Thanks, dude.
Like open up your fridge. Whoa. You got legumes in here, man.
My favorite kind of bread. Well, here's the bread that I have been eating recently.
Okay.
Because I genuinely like the taste and the thickness and the calorie count is a keto bread.
Okay. Does it have a name brand or anything like that?
It's just black and white stripes at Kroger. It just says keto bread on it.
Perfect.
But if I had to pick like an all-time favorite bread, I'm like a good sourdough, I think is what's going to get me going.
Oh, I love sourdough bread too.
Yeah.
You ever had a sourdough bread bowl?
Yeah, a long time ago. I haven't partook in a bread bowl in so long.
Yeah, neither have I. You can only get them in San Francisco.
Oh, I've never done a sourdough bread bowl.
The sourdough bread bowl with like the clam chowder in it or something like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Okay, noted.
Yeah, you got to get out there.
I just.
Yeah, you got to get out there.
Stuck.
So if calories aren't a thing, then sourdough is your go-to.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, now that we've gotten past that insane ending to this episode, Candice, I just want to say we have tons of other stuff to talk to that hopefully we will later date. But I want to thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I love talking improv with you, and thank you for helping me solve it in this half hour.
Everyone, wrap it up. Improv is done. We figured it out.
Before I go, I can't like have you promote specific shows because the show may come out at a certain point in the next couple months. But if you have any like social media or anything you want to promote, now is the time. Sure. If you have a gram or whatever. You can follow me on Instagram at Candice Myrtle, all one word. I also have a couple improv groups at Scora Improv. That's me and Alex Stanton. And at TBD the Musical, which is TBD the Improvised Musical at #. And you guys have a specific date, like a specific time. Is it the last Wednesday of every month? Unfortunately, that might be changing. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Well, they did. We did. That is true. Well, either way, they perform all the time. Yes, so we'll always advertise shows. It's so good. I really like TBD. I need to get out there and see another one soon. It's so much fun. Great cast. Absolutely. In terms of socials on my end, this podcast is on Instagram at This FM Life. You can drop the URL on the end, This FM Life on Instagram. Please follow it. What's that? I just thought that was good. Drop the URL. Yeah, sorry. I've been saying it every episode, so hopefully it is good. Please follow us. Please like and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to. I just learned the other night that our podcast is on Apple Music. I don't have Apple Music, so I didn't check there, but it's on Apple Music. It's on Spotify. It's on some other websites. So please check it out. We're a part of the Roost Podcast Network, which is brand new here at the Nest Theater. I'm very happy to have been part of the opening of the theater space. Terry DeFrancisco has a show called Tough Love, Easy Love that's very nice. But there's all kinds of shows coming out now. Thoughts with Rochelle and Bridget. There is a film show called Le Film Club with Yanni Clemens and Diamond Brown, and more stuff to come. Drops coming up in the next few weeks. By the time you listen to this, it'll be a big cornucopia of content. Like Candice said earlier, you were like, I can't wait to listen to all my friends' podcasts.
Truly, I'm so excited. Yeah,
and hopefully this is just the beginning. Hopefully it's like really cool. And again, thank you for being here. You're the best. As I always say, yes, me, and I will, and you.
Oh, what a beautiful statement. Yes, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. This has been This Ephemeral Life. Everyone be kind to each other and have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to a podcast on the Roost Nest Podcasting Network, executive produced by the Nest Theater and Comedy Arts Center. Co-founded and funded by Rance Rizzuto and Terry DeFrancisco. For more information on the Nest Theater, go to nesttheater.com.
Roost.
Nest Podcasting Network.